Nee, können wir gar nicht. Wir dürfen nicht mal... Kann man den nicht ausmachen? Können wir sonst nichts machen? Nee, wir dürfen nur auf den Laptop gucken. Das wird jetzt viel zu lesen. So, ich mache hier nochmal ein bisschen Use USB Stick. Something doesn't smell right. There's a raid on a compound and all that's left is this lone debriefing. It doesn't add up. Not to mention so much of what is here is redacted. Officers arriving at the scene found 12 people dead on arrival, including Tokimasa and Mai's parents. Where are the details about how they died? Not to mention the report itself was filed almost a week after the raid, so why aren't there any autopsy reports? Says here, 2 children and 1 adult are believed missing. That must be Mai, Takashi and their grandmother. Guess that means Takashi was telling the truth of it all. So many people have been hiding information from me, it's almost a relief. Still, for such a short report, it raises a whole lot of questions. The list of the dead, their causes of death, if there were other survivors, what else they found, it's all lost. Even the location of the compound has been classified. All I know is that a mask was found in the middle of a pile of dead bodies. What the hell happened here? Why was it covered up? Okay. Okay, wir haben Date of the Incident, 4th March 1996, Date of the Report, 9th March 1996. Okay, das ist 5 Tage, ja. Auf approximately 0550. Summary. Task with raid a compound belonging to Kalt, known as Kamenkai, located in Redacted. Okay, mission details redacted. Arrived to discover 12 bodies. Near compound including cult leader Shinji Umesawa aka Tokimasa. Other bodies included 6 females and 3 other males of varying ages, along with 2 children, cause of death redacted. 2 other children and 1 adult considered missing, may be dead. Other survivors redacted. Personal effects collected at scene of crime include masks and several other ritual objects. Result: raid considered a success. Cult known as Kamenkai's activists have ceased. Surviving members have been rescued. Aber wir haben hier noch Other Survivors. Ja, also da ist noch wer, der überlebt hat, und das könnte ja Reina sein, oder ist das auch schon bestätigt? Ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher, aber sie muss ja irgendwie damit zusammenhängen, ne? The report is unclear, but it's obvious that the mask had a part to play in those 12 people's deaths. A young girl's suicide in Shinjuku made me aware of the dark, and I know now that an ancient mask can be used to find a door that may be the key to getting Kazuki back. Learning about those 2 facets of the mystery was supposed to be enough to show the way up to the dark, but even though I can feel the dark, something is still wrong, a piece is still missing. My gut tells me the missing information I need has to do with what happened to the Kamenkai. I have to make the Kawana woman talk. She's the only one alive who could tell me what happened that night. So jetzt take wir mal eine Pill. The pills the doctor gave me are right on the table where Kazuki left them. Count on him to pester me about health even when he's gone. I hate these pills, but I keep taking them for your sake. For your sake! So, okay, aber wir haben wieder ein bisschen geistige Gesundheit. Ich weiß gar nicht, wie viel wir da eigentlich haben. Ja, gar nicht mal so viel. Und die minus 10 Investigation konnten wir verkraften. Irgendwie haben wir super viele Minuswerte. Eieiei, ganz tragisch. So, Exit Apartment. So, und jetzt nochmal nach Kamakura. Gucken wir mal, ob wir mit diesem Bahntypen sprechen müssen. Ich hoffe nicht. Der ist ein bisschen anstrengend, der Guy. So. Kita Kamakura Station. So. Nee, wir können dann direkt mit ihr sprechen. Eigentlich habe ich die letzten paar Male nicht auf Kätzchen geguckt. Ich sollte ein bisschen besser aufpassen. Das werden wir jetzt auch gleich nochmal tun. Wir gehen hier nochmal alles ab. Die tote Krähe ist ja wieder weg. Ja, okay. Wir können einfach enter, wir müssen nicht mal locken. Dann gleich rein in die Bude. I told you to stay away from my family. Don't drag my grandchildren into this any more than you already have. Stay back! I have questions about the Kamenkai, the group your daughter and son-in-law were part of. You're the only one alive who'd remember. Kamenkai, I don't know anything about it. Leave me! Grandma, enough. Listen to yourself. Do you even realize you're lying anymore? Takashi told us everything. And you, Itō. Just because this investigation's important to you doesn't give you the right to barge in here. Your grandma and I need to talk. If it upsets you, maybe you should go. No, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere. This is the house I grew up in. It's as much as mine as its grandma's. If you have something to say, you can say it in front of me. Only a little while ago I found out my parents died in some cult and no one even knows why. You think hearing that was easy for me? I want to help you, Itō, but all the deceit and lies are starting to hurt people. What I'm chasing is so much worse. Ted, the poor man in the station. He's in a hospital now, terrified out of his wits. People aren't only here to be used for information and then thrown away while you move on. They have lives too. And bringing up the past can hurt. Surely you of all people understand that. I do, but ignoring the past won't make it go away, and there's unfinished business from the Kamenkai that needs to be taken care of. But what's left to talk about? Everyone's dead, right? I promise to talk to you about all this later. For now, let me and the detective talk. Go on, you were cooking us dinner, weren't you? Alright, we'll talk about it later, but I'll be in the other room if you need me. So, you found me out. Now that mine knows, I suppose there's no point in keeping it a secret any longer. The truth is, my daughter never would have joined the Kamenkai if it weren't for me. I convinced her and her husband to join. I was already a member. Super. At the time I joined, my husband had left me and I'd lost my job, suddenly leaving me a single unemployed mother who could barely support her daughter. That's when Tokimasa found me and told me that the society that stigmatized and shunned me was a fiction, a great machine to be fought, and that my very soul was at stake. Of course, he used me as he did everyone else. I desperately wanted to hear that my struggles weren't my fault. They stole everything from me, my youth, my mind, then my child. And then one day in 1996 they all died. The cause of death was buried and no autopsy were performed, or if they were hidden. Why? That's simple. The government didn't care about some dead cultists in the woods and covered it up so the papers wouldn't sensationalize their deaths. Oh, die Oma ist voll cute, ne? Schon ein bisschen. Aber sie ist halt auch so ein bisschen eine bad bitch, oder? Ich meine, die hat ihre Tochter am Gewissen, ihren Schwiegersohn. Und hat halt dann ja aus schlechten Gewissen die Kinder großgezogen und so nach dem Motto, das ist alles, was mir geblieben ist, aber sie ist halt irgendwie selber schuld. Naja. That's it. After everything I found, you expect me to believe that? 12 people died that day and no one knows why. What happened? Tell me the truth. You want to know what happened so badly? Fine, I'll tell you. They died for nothing, following in the footsteps of a madman who believed that life was an illusion. As words of other compounds and other groups being raided spread, Tokimasa began warning us the end was near. Mich würde interessieren, ob der auch überlebt hat, weil man weiß es ja nicht, wer die Survivors jetzt offiziell waren, ne? Entschuldigung, ich bin halt ein bisschen müde. He believed the world was collapsing and it was time for him and his followers to abandon the flesh and find purity among the gods. Okay, es klingt, als hätte er sich auch umgebracht. My Emiko, she didn't die from some conspiracy. She chose death because she no longer had an anchor to reality and it was my fault. Niemand würde überleben, wenn es mein Spiel wäre. Ja, ich habe da gar nicht so Einfluss drauf, wer stirbt und wer nicht stirbt. Ich habe eher mehr so Einfluss drauf, wer auf die Fresse kriegt oder nicht. Wer bedroht wird, halt sowas, ne, aber... Oh ja, ich habe schon Einfluss drauf, wer stirbt und wer nicht stirbt. Ich habe ja das letzte Mal schon wen umgebracht und dann einmal niemanden. Also vielleicht habe ich doch ein bisschen Einfluss drauf, wer stirbt und wer nicht. Beyond that, I don't know what happened to them. No, you do know something. In the report it says, after the officers cleared the bodies, they found the mask, the same one you handed to me 6 months ago. That's... Tokimasa would always keep it to himself, saying it granted him sight into the realm of the kami. I needed it, you don't understand. It allowed us to see strange things and people who were gone. The guru was a fool, a fake, but the mask was real. There was a rumor that the cult members were killed by one of their own. Surely you didn't. No, you don't understand. I would never kill my own child. I didn't take the mask. It was given to me. One day a man, some journalist or other, showed up at my door carrying the mask. I couldn't believe it. I begged him for it, and he stood there, smiling at me. His eyes were like none I had ever seen. It was strange. All he wanted in exchange for the mask was a picture of Emiko. When I joined the cult, I was forced to give up my possessions and only had one left, but I gave it to him nevertheless. I thought if I had the mask that I could find her, that maybe she would forgive me. As soon as I had it in my hands, my mind opened. I could hear her voice. So you went into the sewers chasing after her, thinking you could save her? Takashi told you that as well, did he? Yes, it's true. Emiko was crying out to me, begging me to find her and free her from a dark place. Deine Stimme macht, dass Oma voll traurig klingt. Oma ist traurig, die hat ihre Tochter verloren. So, I cry. Nie eine Geige. I would have given anything to hold her in my arms again and plead her forgiveness. I don't care if you don't believe me. Just like Tanaka was calling out to me, I do believe you. We're probably the same few people left alive who know what this mask is capable of. Die Augenbrauen von ihr sind aber eher angry. Ja, sie ist so eine Omi halt. So eine knauerige, wie sagt man das, eine Keppel-Omi. Ja, vielleicht ist sie auch einfach böse, aber ich kann das nicht so. Ich bin nicht so gut. Ich versuche das nur irgendwie so schön halbwegs für euch irgendwie zu machen. So, Punkt. Mobb mich nicht. If you really thought I'd help you find her, then why'd you give it to me? Because I was wrong. At first I only followed whispers. Then I found myself in a strange labyrinth, chasing after her shade. The days bled together. I lost track of my grandchildren, of the shrine. It was an illusion. No matter how hard I tried, I never found her. I only became more and more disconnected from the world around me. I descended into madness. I was being used again, just as Tokimasa had used me so many years before. I tried getting rid of it, throwing it away, burning it. None of it mattered. It always came back. And when I did, the visions and whispers only got worse. So I put it out of my mind and tried as best I could to live a life of solitude and ignore the screams of my daughter. Then you came, and when you did, the mask was screaming out in voice that I'd never heard before. I thought it was a sign, so I gave it to you. I didn't even have time to breathe out of sight of relief before I heard the gunshot ring out. No one else ran to it. I think I was the only one who knew that sound for what it was. Es ist so anstrengend, das sie zu reden. I thought the mask was punishing me once again by taking my away from me. Instead, I had passed tragedy to another. I'm sorry. Perhaps the knowledge of the mask should die with us. There's one other person who knows about the mask, a girl named Rena. Does that name mean anything to you? No, I don't know anybody by that name. Do you expect me to know everyone who's been touched by the mask? No, but you were involved with a group that worshipped it. And you sure you're telling me everything? Yes. What good will accusing an old woman do? Hey. Der nächste, der mit Herzl grüßt. Hallo Xon, schön, dass du da bist. Woo, danke für den Resub. 3 Monate kann man mich abonnieren und 3 Monate abonnierst du mich. Vielen, vielen Dank. Dankeschön für die Unterstützung. So. Unless you're chasing someone too. That must be it. Mai told me you lost someone. Your partner in the police. Is that right? If I'm right, then I suggest you stop your search. The place I was shown by the mask was not meant for the living. I barely escaped with my life. Tut mir leid, ich weiß echt nicht, warum ich heute so müde bin. Stop while your mind and body remain intact. What if I told you there was another option? What other option? In the months since I first met you, I have had time to examine the ancient texts in this shrine, and as the mask grew further away, it loosened its grip on my mind. I knew that it would someday make its way back to me, and so I became determined to find a way to protect myself and my grandchildren from its influence. The darkness of the Kamenkai and its ritual object are but manipulation used to sever our connection with what is truly divine. The mask breeds darkness. Dark forces can evade all manner of living and non-living things, driving them to violence or death. That which is evil cannot be used or tolerated. Oh, kaputt. So viele Informationen, es ist so schwierig so zu lesen. Ich bin die ganze Zeit außer Atem und ich weiß nicht wieso. Corona. Und wisst ihr schon, ob ihr euch impfen gehen lasst? It must be destroyed. It is the only way to save us from its grip. Destroy the mask? I thought you just said it couldn't be done. Not physically. Grandma, is everything alright? I overheard you talking about that mask again. Yes, dear, but you needn't worry. In fact, it's good you're here, as this talk involves you. Ist Leihwandhauerer. Ich werde nur noch mit euren Worten um mich werfen, wenn ich in euren Streams bin. Bist du hundemüde? Okay, Muffin, also wenn du schon genug, wie sagt man, schon genug Wortschatz hast in Dialekt, dann sehr gerne, finde ich sogar ziemlich lustig. Und Xom, warum bist du so müde? Warum kannst du dich nicht wach halten? Warst du gestern so lange auf oder was hast du gemacht? You have trained in exorcism and purification rituals for quite some time, haven't you? Such a ritual could purify the mask and turn it into a mere piece of wood, given we get the right materials, of course. Ja, sicher, Brudi, ich kann safe 5 bis 7 Wörter. Das ist schon gar nicht so schlecht. Und vor allem, wenn du schon so einen Satz bilden kannst, weil es dumm klingt, aber weil es Leihwandhauerer ist durchaus ein Satz bei uns. Das reicht. Oh Gott, ich sehe schon, unsere Sprache ist eigentlich komisch. Eigentlich. Unser Dialekt ist echt merkwürdig. Wenn ich mir denke, so ein schöner deutscher Satz besteht aus, ja, 5 Worten, so im Schnitt, Minimum, und dann so 3 Worte, die einfach nur alle unfreundlich klingen, und dann hast du einen Satz, wo alle sich darüber freuen. I can tell from the look in your eyes that you think me to be senile, but I'm quite serious. Even modern rituals have ancient roots, and with enough conviction, they are still capable of great power. Oh Gott. Ich habe die Nacht mega unruhig geschlafen und insgesamt 4 Stunden, aber bin irgendwie wach. Ich glaube, du bist schon überdreht, ne? Also das ist, wenn ich nicht viel Schlaf kriege, also sogar sehr, sehr wenig, dann bin ich auch munter. Aber dafür, weiß ich nicht, sobald ich dann mal zum Schlafen komme, bin ich dann einfach mal 12 Stunden tot. Ich hab 6 Stunden geschlafen, das ging eigentlich, aber für mich war es gefühlt irgendwie trotzdem zu wenig. Das könnte auch durchaus möglich sein. Ich glaube, dass es so ist. Before I was content to die, as long as the mask didn't hurt my children, as I was too feeble to do what necessary myself. But now seeing you here, I see second chance to do what is right. If you truly do know what the mask is, then you must help me destroy it. Slow down, I didn't come here to be involved in a ritual or exorcism or whatever you call it. I only wanted truth about the Kamenkai, which you still haven't given me. You're a stubborn one, aren't you? So be it. I can see there is only one way to change your mind. The only trace of what happened that day would be at the Kamenkai compound itself. The records of its location are lost and they were never made public, but I know where it is. Okay. What's the catch? go there, search for your truth, see what worshipping the mask was wrought. When you return, you'll help me destroy it. What makes you so confident I'll change my mind? I went back once, years ago. In all honesty, I'm not sure why. Perhaps to remind myself of my sins. What I saw and felt in that place, it was tainted by darkness and death. Those two things are all the mask will afford you. There is something else. I had a feeling you'd say that. The heavy unnatural air I felt when I returned to the compound. It had the same stench, the same quality of the tunnels where I searched for Emiko. Sounds like a superstition to me. So what exactly is it you want in exchange for that information? I believe the energies of the mask and the place are linked. I want you to bring something back from there, anything. It may help in the ritual. Looking for the truth will not bring you peace, detective. Purifying the mask very well might. Remember that. The compound is in the forest of Aokigahara. Warum überrascht mich das jetzt nicht? Warum? Na gut. Ja, genau. Aokigahara, hey, that's the Suicide Forest. Oh, Überraschung, ein Kult, der im Selbstmordwald Selbstmord begeht. Puh, wer hätte damit gerechnet? Suicide Forest, what a dreadful name. Though I suppose those woods have seen their fair share of tragedy and death. Itō, you can't just go charging in there, it's dangerous. What if you got lost? GPS doesn't work in there, and I heard even compasses won't point north. Not only that, but well, a lot of people go there to die. I don't think you should go. You two keep talking about the mask like it's some evil spirit causing you pain, but I think the pain you're feeling isn't caused by a mask, it's just you. So many nights after the girls died in this shrine, I had nightmares. Every corner I went around, I thought I'd see her there. It wasn't a ritual or charm that made me better though. I just stopped listening to the fear, I confronted it. Okay. When he took me to see Takashi, that was the first time I'd left Kamakura since April. It's embarrassing to admit it, but I was scared. And yeah, Takashi telling me all that stuff about mom and dad was scary, but it was the truth. I wasn't hiding from some demon I'd invented myself. Anyway, I know you might not listen to me, but I don't think you should put yourself in danger just so you can keep chasing your demons. Maybe you're right, but some demons have a way of spreading to others. Seeing the Kamankaya compound is something I have to do. Well, it's your choice, but Aokigahara is huge, and how are you going to find one compound? Ich wusste gar nicht, dass in Aokigahara Kompasse nicht funktionieren. Das wusste ich nicht. Finde ich aber echt cool jetzt und frage mich, ob das jetzt eher nicht so ein Mysterium ist. Aber vielleicht bin ich eines Tages dort und probiere es selber. Aber dann bin ich wahrscheinlich in Aokigahara und habe einfach keinen Kompass, weil wer besitzt sowas heute noch? So. Mai makes a good point. It's been a long time. Are you sure you remember where it is? Of course I do. I know what you two must think of me, but I'm not senile. It's a hike away from a bus stop on the outskirts of Narusawa. We used to go into town occasionally for supplies. Krasse Outdoor-Menschen haben safe noch sowas. Ja, wahrscheinlich. Und ich bin mir sicher, man kann das auch irgendwo kaufen, also bei so Campingbedarf. Aber ein normaler Standardmensch hat sowas halt nicht mehr. Also ein normaler Standardmensch, aber wisst ihr halt so mit Hobbys, die nicht irgendwie im Outdoor-Bereich sind. Ich meine, ich habe ein Hobby im Outdoor-Bereich, aber trotzdem habe ich keinen Kompass. Am Handy, aber ich weiß nicht, ob das so zählt. I don't know. Several miles away from the bus stop, there's a clearing and the path there used time to time by the Forest Service. I draw you a map before you leave. It continues for quite some time and eventually it will be blocked off. Keep going forward and don't turn back or leave the path. The forest can play tricks on you. Supposing the path is still there, it seems pretty incredible to me that the compound would have been left alone all these years. It still stands. After all, why would you bother to go and dismantle it? Go search for whatever truth you think you'll find, but be careful, detective. Do what must be done, then leave. Staying there is dangerous. I hope that once you enter that place and feel the energy at it, you'll have the sense to see what I never could. You understand, don't you? Investigation plus 5. The mask must be purified. Was haben wir hier? I understand, it depends on what I find. Tanaka comes first. Wir sagen jetzt einfach mal ja, ist gut. Gut. I'll begin preparations for the ceremony regardless. See her out. Gehen wir halt wieder.